In this challenge, I'm going to take 9 colors, and even though some of them aren't in the rainbow, I'm still going to call it a rainbow. Pretty much every main boss I kill, I have to spin this wheel of colors. Whatever color it lands on has to be my armor, weapon, and talisman color I use. Some colors provide a variety of strong weapons, while others have...
This is actually going to be the blade of your sword.
Also, all sorceries and incantations also have to match the color as well. Say my color is red, and I have a red staff, which isn't real, but you would also need a red sorcery, like the thorn sorceries, to go with it. And if I want to use a summon, the color of the icon of the summon has to match the color I have. Can you beat Elden Ring by switching colors every single main boss? Let's find out. First, I name my guy Strawberry Milk, because milk builds strength, and look at my guy, he's a goddamn unit. Then I went over and picked up my horse, and I got the rune thing as my keepsake. I was expecting maybe 30k to start off.
What? No, dude!
Well, I'm never picking that again. And you're wondering, why am I wearing all my armor right now? Well, we haven't killed the boss, so we don't really have a color yet. So I went up to challenge Margit, and I gave him no breathing room. I went full out aggressive, because it only takes 4 Ash of Wars of Unsheath to stagger him. When he was staggered, I stared him straight down, and even whispered in his ear,
It's free real estate.
Eventually, my epic katana skills got to him, but now I was back to being naked and afraid. I can spin the wheel. Okay, blue pew pew. So first, I needed a staff, so I went southeast of the waypoint ruins to find this lone wandering trader. No, I meant wandering noble magic dude. Believe it or not, this guy actually has a 100% chance to drop the glintstone staff. But I didn't have any spells, so I went down to talk to Selin in the waypoint ruins, and oof, a boss door. Fighting this guy with just your fists is just unbearable. I've seen runs out there where they just use 20 damage per hit on the fire giant, but I'm trash. So I was maidenless, armorless, and weaponless, but that wasn't it. I went and rode over to the land of opportunities, Caelid. In here I found the Celia hideaway cave system completely by myself. Totally didn't need a 10-minute tutorial video, and if I could send a nuclear bomb in this cave, I would. Not only is there 2 revenants, but watch the walk across this crystal thing. I was walking straight, didn't move right or left, and after all that pain, at the end of the cave before the boss door, there's a secret wall which reveals a chest containing the crystal spear. It scales with intelligence and dexterity, and despite it being pretty hard to obtain, it was actually worth it. After that, I used the spear to kill the mad pumpkinhead guarding Selin. I did read somewhere where it said this spear was able to proc frost, but that turns out not to be true. And with that, Selin was unlocked and I could buy sorceries. Since I had no armor, I decided to get the blue dancer charm to increase my attack power the lower my equip load is. And since I had no armor, I'm pretty sure my attack went up. I didn't see any numbers in my stats go up, but I don't know. Oh yeah, and I also killed the tree sentinel for more runes. Now I can just buy more sorceries. After that, I went up to challenge Godric. I could have gotten a lot stronger, but doing the bare minimum is also good, right? Before the fight, I went under Stormveil and grabbed Ranker Call. This isn't a blue spell, but it is black and green is a very uncommon color for a weapon in Elden Ring. Oh yeah, back to Godric. At the start, I would usually use some magic, but in this particular fight, he just completely dodged me behind a grave. After that, I started stabbing with the crystal spear. This is pretty easy to get or stagger off, since his attacks are very slow. The only thing you have to actually watch out for is his dragon grab attack, which can be pretty fast. In his second phase, he pretty much gives us a free stagger, but Godric is easy anyway. With all that stagger damage, it was pretty much bonus points, and I managed to take him down after that. This granted me runes, great runes, remembrances, and a chance to spin the wheel again. Let's hope for something good. Okay, I've done this before, this shouldn't be too bad. Oh yeah, and if I could tell the world something right now, is to not watch that video. I barely knew how audio works, and I still kind of don't. Anyway, back to Godric. Oh shit, Godric's dead. After Godric, you can find Ghoststock kicking Godric's head. He sells the bandit armor. I can buy the chest and the leggings, but that's pretty much it. For my weapon, I chose the Staff of Loss. This boosts invisibility sorceries, but they're kind of useless since there's only one. But it's a staff, it's magic, and magic is supposed to be very OP in this game, right? Oh, and now I can use Ranker Call. But this isn't the only reason I came to the Roundtable Hold. If you didn't know, there's actually 2 secret rooms here, in total requiring 3 stone sword keys to enter both. What I'm looking for is in the first room. In the first room you can find 1 chest containing the black key crossbow with the black key bolts. Fun fact, there's actually only 90 of these bolts in the entire game, 20 of which you can get from this chest. With all my new weapons, time to try them out. Go, Ranker Call. What the hell? Okay, that crossbow has to be better. Maybe they're still both level 1, but come on. A level 1 small wooden dagger could do better than that. Okay, plan B. Time to switch out of this color. How? We have to kill a main boss, like Radon, Renala, or Morgott even. If you know Radon, you know he's been battling cancer for 5,000 years, but we're just gonna take our black key bolts and insert more cancer inside. So I went to Aldous Plateau to start the Radon party, then I went through the Radon party hole, and ended up in the fight. It was pretty simple. I just summoned all my NPC friends and shot them with black bolts. These inflicted Scarlet Rot, which led him to the second phase where I could summon all my boys again. After I ran out of black key bolts, I started using Ranker Call. This distracted him from my boys, and we actually managed to take him down. His fight with cancer was long, but our fight with him was pretty short. He awarded us a bunch of runes and his great rune, which can help with health, I think. But most importantly, I get a spin of the color wheel. Let's pray for something amazing. Finally, my luck has paid off. The best color on this wheel. I have pretty much access to every single weapon, or so I thought. Out of all the weapons I had, the only one that was actually silver was the Uchi Katana. And surprising enough, I actually had no silver armor. To solve both these problems, I ran down to the Rhea Lucaria mineshaft thing and picked up smithing stones and killed the Crystallians for runes. I thought this was going to be a little harder, but I remembered. I made it out the shithole. With these runes, I purchased the Knight armor from the Twin Maiden Husks. This armor isn't that good, but I definitely get points for style. Oh, and I got a heater shield since I'm deeming the curved sword talisman as silver. This increases guard counter damage by 20%. Next, I started to make my way through Rhea Lucaria. Did I tell you I hate dogs? Are you serious? Well, since I have silver, I can pretty much use any summon in the game, so why not more dogs? The Red Wolf of Radagon is pretty much a glass musket. He's glass, but he also just doesn't hit hard at all. Beating him gave me a chump change of runes and another spin at the wheel. Well, I think the Red Wolf of Radagon left an imprint on me. Well, this is bad. The color orange provides us with no armor at all, and the only weapon I got was the shield at the start, because it's red and orange. One upside is I can wear Radagon's Sword Seal again. My second thought was the torch. It sold for 500 runes from Kale, and it does a decent amount of damage. But decent isn't going to cut it with no armor. I needed something better. What about the Meteoric Ore Blade, the katana that everyone says is really good in PvP? But the question is it even orange? I zoomed in all the way to confirm. Then, to make it stronger, I talked to EG about his smithing stones, bought like one of them, and then upgraded it to +5. +5 katana pre-Renala, maybe this is not too bad. Also, the orange shield on my back is to protect against Renala's back shots. And I destroyed her magic class. Sometimes I almost one-cycled her in the first phase. But the second phase is a little different. As a big melee character, you can pretty much stunlock her into death. But as Dex, you kind of have to take your time. Most of my time was actually just running away from her summons in her second phase.
I hate to run.
But nothing more to say. I mainly got her because of my huge damage output. Beating her got me a batch of runes and a chance at a new color. Well, I guess we can find more weapons and maybe armor. To do this, I ventured to Volcano Manor to get some upgrades. Or just one upgrade. I picked up the Depraved Perfumer Kara Man Ashes. The icon is orange and it has fire on it, so I can use it. But one catch, it required 137 FP when I only had below 100. To fix this, I killed the ulcerated tree spirit right outside Volcano Manor for the Cerulean Hidden Tier. This gives you infinite FP for about 30 seconds. And using that, I summoned my boy against Fatty here. Even if he doesn't do that much, he's still a pretty wicked dude. He shows up in this big outfit cape thing like a bird and then just throws fire everywhere.
I'm the biggest bird. I'm the biggest bird.
Anyway, me and Bird Boy eventually defeated him, getting me 90,000 runes and... Okay, back to blue. First, to replace my super uncool normal staff, I went and got the Carrion Royal Staff. This increases Carrion sorceries by about 20%. For my sorceries, I bought them from the Turtle Man, and my favorite one was definitely the big glowing Carrion Greatsword. And I still have the Crystal Spear from before, but my new staff and the spear are really low level, and when I tell you, I am
Fucking poor.
So I needed runes, but the only way to actually get a major amount of runes in this game is to kill main bosses or side bosses, but these small little entities just produce no runes at all. So the Draconic Tree Sentinel it is. Being 3-shot is tough, even though that's an average Elden Ring experience. But using the power of magic glint blades, I eventually took him down, awarding me 1 billion runes so I can upgrade my weapons now. Except they're not the same weapons as before because now I have to switch color. This could arguably be the hardest color on here, until I discovered...
cheese.
Meteorite sorceries. These are so good, and they stagger bosses so fast, but I don't know how to upgrade the staff. It just didn't show in the menu. But I don't need upgrades. I'm so good. So I switched all my flasks to blue, went up to Godfrey, and put the pedal to the purple sorceries. One thing Godfrey does is he walks up to you very slowly. So I cast a sorcery, but he instantly dashes forward and puts his foot down. But it's kind of crazy. He dashes as soon as I finish my sorcery, and I can just dodge right away. Using these runaway rat tactics, I managed to beat him. I didn't think it was going to be this easy, but maybe purple isn't as bad as I thought. I thought I was going to get yellow here for some damn good variety, but no, orange is back. Coming up next is Morgott. The air was still, the birds were silent. Am I going to be a bitch today? Yes. I always say that Morgott is super easy, but I just summoned Melina to help, so I guess I can't say anything. And this is definitely my favorite boss. Why? It's because of the halfway transformation like a Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan. The reason I wanted to get this boss out of the way, because after this, it's a 90-degree slope upward. But I'm not beating Morgott for the runes, or because I have to. I want his sword. The best sword in this whole run. And you wonder why. After I beat him, I got his remembrance and exchanged it with Enya. Take a look. How many colors do you see? Let's point them out. I see purple, green, blue, and maybe orange. All I had to do now is roll a color that fit the criteria. Any of those. I had a pretty good chance, right?
Gotcha, bitch.
Welp, I can't use Morgott's Cursed Blood Sword, so I went to Liurnia and picked up the Tree Spear. Then I went back to Renala and completely flipped my stats from previous Intelligence user to now Faith and Dexterity. To match the gold, I put on Radahn's armor. This already looks stylish and gives a lot of poise. And I learned from the last comments that poise actually means how fast a boss can stagger instead of staggered damage. Afterwards, I wrote up the snow lift thing and made it to the fire giant. I'm gonna be honest, I thought this gold spear thing was gonna do like 5 damage. I mean, it scales in 3 stats, which is already a bad sign. But I was pleasantly surprised. This did a lot more damage than I thought, and its Ash of War made it golden with holy stuff, and that made his damage even higher. His first phase is pretty easy with his broken foot, and the second phase is even easier. I run between his legs, and from there, he pretty much can't hit me, and I chip away his health. And if you keep doing that, run between his legs, hit him where it hurts, he'll eventually fall. Some of the hardest bosses can be really easy if you know some simple tactics. And the good thing about the fire giant is he dumps a bunch of runes on you, which can help me switch to another color. And that color is... purple. I could finally use Morgott's sword, and I have to say, this is one of the most fun weapons I've ever played with. The Ash of War is just amazing. And it's even good against bosses because it's fast and it does bleed damage. Taking this in Farum Azula would just be an instant win. Except this is the only footage you're gonna get of me outside a boss arena in Farum Azula. You know why? Because my computer just can't load it at all. It crashes every 5 seconds. Thankfully, this is the only area where this happens, and this is one of the smallest areas. Imagine this happened in like Liurnia. But it does work inside boss arenas. I'm not sure why, but the Godskin duo is a 2v2, so I summon Bernal. And the Godskin are susceptible to sleep, so I put sleep grease on my katana to turn it purple so I could use it. This didn't end up working in the long run because the katana is not upgraded, and sleep didn't proc that well. Although I switched back to Morgott's Cursed Sword, and me and Bernal got him. Afterward, I went to challenge Beast Clergyman. Why don't I say Malekith? It's because I think the Beast Clergyman is harder than Malekith. I just can't find any tempo or rhythm to Beast Clergyman's moves. It feels like I have to exchange with him every single time. And I would go to Malekith with 0 health potions and do better than I did on Beast Clergyman. Eventually, I just stopped recording because there was a small chance that my game would crash, and it takes a while to reboot it, so I didn't think it was worth it. All of my attempts lasted about an hour, but eventually I beat him and I got to burn down the Erd Tree. I know in my bones that I just kicked your ass. Oh yeah, remember how I didn't do an edit for Margit? Well, I decided to save it for Godfrey. If you didn't know, that's an extremely easy tutorial on how to beat Godfrey. Just dodge. Next was Radagon and Eldenbeast, and I hit Eldenbeast once. That's not a lot of damage. I was in for 100 tries plus, but why would I do that when I can just summon someone? That may be scummy and frowned upon, but I didn't want to sit in my chair for another 2 hours grinding this terrible boss with Elden stars coming up my ass. So yeah, I beat Elden Ring with a rainbow and some guy with a spinning black ball magic at the end. And if you couldn't tell, some parts of this video are definitely rush. This is because I had so many ideas about the next OP class Elden Ring video that I just couldn't contain them. And if you somehow made this far, I thank you, and see ya.